Press Here is sponsored in part by Barracuda Networks, cloud-connected security and storage solutions that simplify IT. City National Bank, providing loans and lines of credit to help Northern California businesses grow.
This week, the push to keep jobs in America. A venture capitalist tries his hand at running a startup, and we try to predict 2017 after most of us got 2016 so wrong. Our reporters, John Swartz of USA Today and Quentin Hardy of the New York Times, this week on Press Here. Good morning, everyone. I'm Scott McGrew. There's a new push to keep jobs local. Ford has canceled plans to open a plant in Mexico and will break ground in Michigan instead. And you're familiar with the Carrier plant in Ohio. Here in Silicon Valley, it's very difficult to keep mid-level jobs in town. The cost of labor is absurdly high because the cost of living is even higher, which is why I was surprised to see this facility run by Legacy Republic. It converts old video and films into DVD. You probably had this done with your old home movies yourself. Brian Knapp is president at Legacy Republic. Business Insider lists him as one of the tech executives most likely to kick your butt. We'll keep that in mind as we join John Swartz of USA Today, Quentin Hardy of New York Times. Let's hold off on the butt kicking for just a minute if we could, and ask you about, of all the places you could put a facility, Santa Clara, California has got to be one of the most expensive.
It's a great question. So we were founded in Silicon Valley back in 1999. It was our parent company. And this is highly skilled manufacturing, right? It's your most precious memories. So it's a very human endeavor. We have a lot of automation in the factory, but we need that highly skilled manufacturing. We also actually have a larger facility out in Norcross, Georgia, but it is all here in the U.S.
No, but of course we have highly skilled workers here in Silicon Valley. Do they have highly skilled workers in Norcross, Georgia?
Absolutely. It's a great facility. Some of our best people are out there. About 75–80% of our memory factory volume goes through Norcross, Georgia. The advantage here is that it's also our headquarters. So we can walk downstairs in the factory floor and really see what's going on because, again, you're dealing with people's most precious memories. It's an incredibly important endeavor to be really close to.
How much automation is there in the factory, and how much does that compare with, say, 5 or 10 years ago? Do you see more and more robotics on the factory floor?
So it's a good question. On the factory floor, again, it's very human intensive, that highly skilled manufacturing. The two places we tend to automate are the safety and security of these memories. So that handoff from the UPS truck into our factory and breaking down those memories and starting to get them converted to a digital format. We have 300 cameras in the facility. We have a direct link with UPS in terms of monitoring the safety and security of these is absolutely paramount in our business. The other place we automate is on the output. So when these memories are done, using algorithms to do scene detection, highlight video, and really make these new memories come to life.
So there's a lot of sensors and a really big audit trail, what they call seeing every point in the step, which is another kind of automation for accountability and figuring out the processes. I guess what I'm getting at is, I think the insight here is it's not just about workers, it's about workers who are able to adapt to new machinery.
Absolutely, and as this evolves, and we actually, as VCRs, we bought just about every VCR you can on eBay, right? So we have our own machine shops. We need to recreate these things. We've got a couple decades to get through all these vintage memories, and we need to keep these factories up and running.
So how often do you train or retrain your employees, and is there a high turnover rate? Or
so actually, there's quite a low turnover rate, and a lot of that comes to Legacy Republic's mission and what we're doing, right? There's a purpose to this and a connection with family.
I'm guessing it also comes to pay
legacy
as well. If you're paying your employees well, a number of Silicon Valley, even the Starbucks and the Burger Kings are paying well above minimum wage, and I realize you're paying way above minimum wage, but they're paying above minimum wage simply to hold on to these employees who can go so many other places in Silicon Valley.
Santa Clara County's unemployment rate is 3.8%.
Right.
That basically means everybody who wants a job can get one, right?
Don't discount the mission. Don't discount what we're doing. It's really important. It's really important to many of our employees to help families save these memories, bring them together through them, and that mission is quite strong with our employees and our consultants.
But you're kind of in a unique situation because when you think about the rest of the country and we think about Trump and his push for jobs and Americans being employed, especially in the Midwest, that's probably not as evident in the Midwest with automated facilities and people who are qualified to run them, right? In a sense, you're kind of an anomaly.
I don't know. I think what he's saying is really accurate. People don't just want work and they don't just want wages. They want a sense of meaning in what they're doing. And
Especially
communicating
these
that
days.
is really important for a leader, I think.
And it is quite important to our Legacy Republic customers that they know actually their memories are staying here in the U.S.
Really?
You mentioned
It's the sell point. Interesting.
well, I mean, you
Absolutely.
are sending, some pretty personal stuff. I mean, old home movies and things. I mean, I guess it doesn't really make any difference really who sees it, but there is something about keep this thing safe.
Absolutely.
You mentioned the VCR. What is the strangest sort of material you've gotten? I mean, can you convert anything? I mean, it seems like we're getting desperate because there's VHS-C and all these weird things from
you
the
get
80s
8mm
and
films.
90s.
You get Betamax.
I have a film of my dad when he's 6 years old up in upstate New York riding his tricycle.
Wow.
I have my mom on a rock from a slide in the St. Lawrence River when she was about 8 years old. Okay, we digitized a photo album from 1890.
Wow.
These are some of the most interesting artifacts, right? These are the atoms and the high quality bits now are these moments to be cherished
How many
of our history.
How many of these do you convert? I mean, how many do you do on an average a year?
We've done millions over our history, and so in Legacy Republic right now. So part of the problem is these are degrading. They're high risk, right?
Right.
Photo albums in basements, VHS tapes in attics, and if we don't get to them and digitize them, that's our history being potentially lost. So that's a big push behind what we're doing and why
You're
we're doing it.
digitizing them. Are you doing them to DVD because that's what the person wants, or is it, going in the cloud? And what guarantee do I have the cloud is going to exist? I mean, it just seems like I'm constantly changing my format to the next thing.
Scott, trust the cloud.
So we partner with Amazon, who's our backbone. They're AWS.
Okay, they're probably gonna
to
stick
have the
around.
cloud.
So,
They're probably
okay.
going to be around,
Yeah.
and it is primarily on the cloud. And we're focused on those moments that matter. So we're not full photo storage. We're really focused on your legacy, which is a small percentage of your memories, right? There really are those moments that matter. Those really special moments.
We mentioned that you are a what they call you, the CEO most likely to kick your butt. This is
I'm a peaceful warrior.
this is because
However.
you've won some medals in jiu-jitsu.
Yes, sir.
And then you started an MMA fantasy league. Have I got that right?
I did. That was a personal passion. I started with one of my best friends. We ran it for about 5 years, and we were.
Where I can sort of match my MMA team.
It's like
against your
fantasy
own.
football for MMA.
So
How
who's
is that?
your?
Yeah, how do you accumulate points for MMA? What's
Kicks, strikes, takedowns. I can demonstrate.
Yeah.
Go. When you're
To him.
No,
What's-
him.
to people who are least familiar with MMA, maybe they know who Ronda Rousey is. Maybe they saw that she lost recently. That's about their exposure to it. How do you sell it to people as, okay, this is something you should be interested in. Here's what you should be watching for.
So the martial arts, in particular, one of the oldest disciplines, one of the oldest sports in the world, right? Wrestling, the martial arts,
Sure.
and so for me, it's very fundamental. It's very pure in that sense, and so for me, it's very interesting. Martial arts for me are very much an intellectual pursuit. It has a lot of parallels to entrepreneurship. Unlocking things, solving puzzles, persistence, dedication, discipline. And so actually we have these huge kids classes because parents want their kids involved in jiu-jitsu and martial arts to teach them these life
But the
lessons.
top line of MMA is basically bring your baddest thing against my baddest thing. It just looks like raw violence.
It's mixed
Is that what
martial
you see
arts.
something different when you see it?
It's professional.
Because I just
it's
see two
very
guys
professional.
hurting each other. What
There's
do
a
you
lot
see?
of technique there. I see a chess game
Really?
just with humans.
And of blood. Let me ask you the most, and we'll end on this, but let me ask you the most incredibly obvious cliched question. You guys already know what it's going to be. What does your knowledge of MMA and martial arts bring to you as a CEO? God, that is such a cliched question, but it's a good
Thank
one.
you for the
Yes.
question.
Oh, you're
so
very
I think at Legacy Republic, we are starting on an endeavor to digitize hundreds of millions
you
of
just
memories.
went straight into sales.
I'm
I
bridging.
didn't ask you to
I'm
give me a
bridging.
sales thing.
And it's gonna
What is
take
it?
a lot of
No matter what you
persistence to
did
get
as
there.
CEO,
I think
what
he
is martial
went
arts
out on the
bring?
mat and
Gonna
straight
take-
for your throat.
Yes.
It's
That
going
was
to
good.
take a lot of persistence to get there, and it's going to take a lot of problem solving, like entrepreneurship, and I think martial arts sets me up.
Do you
well
do
for
much
that.
MMA tapes from your? Do you combine the two?
That's a good
Because they
question.
were the NHL
We're
had the
focused on
hockey-
family memories,
okay.
so if the kids are doing jiu-jitsu, then we'll do
Right.
it.
Just fine.
All right, Brian Knapp is CEO of Legacy Republican. I want acknowledgement. I shut him down.
Okay.
When he got off course, I shut him down.
Oh, after the break, it's going to be
Absolutely.
bad.
Oh, it's
gonna
going to
kick your ass after the
Up
break.
next, if we do come back, we'll try to predict 2017. Now, if 2016 is any indication, we're going to have some trouble. When Press Here continues.